afternoon, um, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, Mr. Deputy Speaker and Mr. Governor and Mr. Deputy Governor. Kindly allow me to ride on the existing protocols. My name is Temitope Dosumu. I head the commercial team of Geocycle Nigeria, a subsidiary of Lafarge Africa PLC. We are the professional waste management arm of Lafarge Africa PLC. As you know, we're big on waste management and circular economy, and sustainability is part of our goal. So we'll be discussing about adoption of the principle of regenerative economy, and I do not want to take so much of your time. Circular economy is a new discussion and trend in the world, not only in Nigeria or Africa as a whole. And I'm really excited that we're big on this right now. If we look back 10 years ago, we were not here. But here we are, we're interested in this, and we've taken the lead in this space. We're talking about regenerative economy. We're moving away from the regular. We're moving away from having the existing economy and looking at opportunity of how we can build business models by unlocking potential for positive contribution, with a system that actually will generate assets that provides goods and services. The world is moving away from linear economy where you take, you use, and then you dump. So now we're moving to an economy where you take, you use, you reuse. The arrows can keep going on as long as you want it to be. This is the regenerative economy right here. Raw materials can actually be restored and renewed. Reproduction can also be used with waste pollution. And then when you look at the last cycle, we talk about repair, reuse, and recycle. I don't know how to use this. This is an approach whereby the economic development is designed to feed both business, the environment, and society as well. It contracts the linear economy and looks at the aims of gradually decoupling growth from consumption of infinite resources. We are big on circular economy, as I earlier mentioned. The world is moving away from the use of traditional fuel and fossil fuel to the use of alternative raw materials as energy. And this is one thing we've taken a lead on in Lafarge. At our cement plants, we consume on a daily basis about 500 tons of alternative materials, which speaks to both biomass and other raw materials. We use these to actually use as alternative fuel and raw materials. So we're looking at the benefits. Our focus is to reduce the use of fossil fuel and greenhouse gas emission. We know that cement production organizations are the largest generators of CO2 emissions. So that's why we're taking the lead in alternative fuel and looking at a way to mitigate pollution, reduce as much as we can. If possible, go in the AF way. We're looking at prioritizing climate justice and climate change mitigation, foster economic growth, values on natural capital. The focus is to promote sobriety rather than abundance. We need to work without extracting new materials, which means you've already produced these materials. Use the existing materials that you have as much as possible. The end life of a product shouldn't be a damage to the environment or to those living in it. It is important that we look at it and look at ways to tackle these waste management challenges as a whole. We're also looking at promoting local opportunities because we are all actors in this space. What do I generate? What am I doing with it? What do you generate? What do you do with it? It's important that we take ownership and play a major role in this space. We need to develop life, evolution, rather than destroying it. This world is not ours. It's for our children. We need to leave a healthy space for them. We're saying co-processing. This is the hierarchy, and our focus, I'm sorry I'm going to be turning this way because I'm not able to. This is a hierarchy when it comes to waste management. We are looking at opportunities in the cement industry. And then we preach as much as possible. If you can avoid waste generation, kindly avoid it. If you can reduce it, please reduce it. Reuse, reprocess, recycle it as much as you can. And in a cement space, we leverage on the use of co-processing. The cement industry generates temperatures from about 450 degrees to 1,450 degrees, and an additional flame of 2,100 degrees. It has given us that space for us to leverage on that temperature and use it to actually generate additional, to treat waste, and then use it to generate additional fuel. So waste to energy is beautiful. But even with waste to energy, you have non-recyclable materials that needs to be handled. So there is a need for the solution. Incineration and landfilling is a no-no. It would be very nice if you can meet having this same event next year, and we are saying, oh, we're able to move over 40% from the dump site to other resources. It makes a lot of sense. So I think we should all shy away from incineration. We should all shy away from landfilling. We should all shy away from burying of waste or hazardous kind of waste. And then uncontrolled burying of waste should actually have a stop. This is a regular picture. To some is a blessing, to others is a curse. To the recyclers is a blessing. This is a whole value chain. But to the man who lives at Olushosun, it's a curse. To the man who is stuck in a bus heading home, it's a major challenge, and then there's no AC. So we need to look at this. I do not see waste, but I see a huge value chain. I'm seeing materials that can be recycled. I'm seeing non-recyclable materials that can be converted to alternative energy. I'm seeing materials that we can get huge AF from, and it can actually provide jobs out there. I would like to reiterate, when it comes to waste management, alternative fuel in Lafarge, we do not break the value chain. What do I mean? We do not collect recyclable waste. We only focus on the non-recyclable materials. That's what we manage. It is high time for regulators to take a position. What do I mean? It is high time for us to ensure and mandate that dumping of waste should actually stop, if not reduce. Should actually reduce if we cannot stop. It is high time to prioritize and look for values in materials that we are actually generating. Priorities for businesses. Every organization that has a manufacturing line that produces waste should think about the end life of the product. What do I do to it? Where is it going to end? Am I burying it? Am I burning it? Am I incinerating it? When you incinerate, you generate ash. What happens to the ash at the end of the day? I'm certain there are no analysis done. So we need to start thinking about the future, not about now. There's a lot of construction demolition waste going out. We are developing in this, we are building and constructing in this part of the world. Today I'm saying yes, every cement industry can actually collect construction demolition waste and recycle in their cement plants. By so doing, 40% of waste generated can be diverted from the dump site. It's something we need to look at together as a whole. And it's beautiful because we're beginning to discuss with regulators and we are beginning to have traction. If you talk about waste management or circular economy 10 years ago, we were nowhere to be found. But here we are taking the lead. So we need to start seeing waste as a resource. The picture I showed earlier had different pictures. To me, I see value, I see money, and I see resources. Low carbon alternatives. Every waste, when you treat and prioritize this, you generate low carbon. Okay, waste processing in the cement industry. I mentioned earlier that we make use of alternative fuel. We are moving away from the use of fossil fuel, traditional fuel, to AF. What do we use as AF? Biomass materials, which involves palm kernel shells, shafts, and other resources, and other combustible materials mixed together. All of this generates AF. And how do we treat? We co-process. This is co-processing. It's a method that enables us use waste as raw materials in our cement kiln. Based on the temperature, what happens eventually is that the ash mixes with other raw materials, and then the final product you get is clinker. Clinker is actually cement. So it is important. I don't want to take so much time. So it is important that we start looking at co-processing as a final solution to waste. In order for us to manage waste in the cement industry, what we do actually is that we have to pre-process the material. This is a typical picture of a cement kiln. You pre-process and you feed from various areas. At the end of the day, like I mentioned earlier, you reduce the use of fossil fuel and then you generate cement. Advantages are huge. Long temperature. The process is self-cleaning. The kiln has lime in it. It's high efficiency and total recovery. Eventually, you get zero waste. Zero waste should be the goal, and zero waste in future should be what we're looking at. These are the waste management hierarchy. We have municipal solid waste, we can handle this. We handle industrial solid waste, non-industrial, and biomass residues, and alternative raw material. The volume of waste that is being generated today, 70% of this waste can actually be managed by cement industries. So if we leverage on cement industries, very minimal volume will go to the dump site. Very minimal volume will be burned. So by so doing, we are actually creating a clean and clear environment. Waste management in the cement industry. In every aspect of our production, we make use of waste. In the space of raw material, clinker production, cement grinding, aggregates production, and concrete production. At every stage of this, we consume waste as a means of either alternative fuel or alternative raw material in the cement industries. So what are we doing? We are pre-processing waste. We are looking at it. We have in our cement, we have our facility in Ewekoro, where we carry out this activity, where we impregnate, even if it's a liquid waste, where we feed into various systems. And then, eventually, you get clean and clear energy. So what do we do in Lafarge? What do we do in GeoCycle? Our focus is to ensure that we provide zero waste to the dump site. Here are different images of waste being generated. It has to be pre-processed for it to be usable, because various organizations will come to us. I'm giving you my waste. I do not have to pay for it because it's alternative material. No. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to pre-process before we can convert it to a usable material. I am here to stand on behalf of GeoCycle and Lafarge to say to every organization and everybody here to embrace co-processing, to start thinking of zero waste, to stop dumping, and let's work together. It is doable because the solution is here. And Lafarge has always taken the lead. We are partnering with different governments, regulators, and industries. And I think this we can achieve. So this is us. We are GeoCycle, a zero waste future. We are 100% subsidiary of Holcim. Holcim is a major group, and we are Lafarge Africa here in Nigeria. Here we pre-process and co-process non-recyclable waste. I emphasize non-recyclable because we are not in competition with recyclers. We understand it's a very strong value point. And what we are saying is materials that you cannot recycle, that cannot go to the dump site, but can be handled by us. And then we'll be able to give you a clean environment, a zero waste future. We've added value by championing circular economy costs. We've collaborated with other industries and government regulators. We are supporting the sustainability action for waste management. We are looking at a future where you and I will look back and say, yes, we did this. So thank you very much for this platform. Please let us embrace zero waste by providing circular economy. Thank you.